I want.
Most children with autism are not diagnosed until 3 to 5 years of age, but the signs can appear as early as 6 months. At the Kennedy Krieger Institute, researcher Rebecca Landa is compiling video of what parents and pediatricians should look for.
This baby does not look at his mom's face. He is quite quiet, very unengaged with her.
Are you looking?
Many children do not develop autism for a year or two. It is called regressive autism. This boy at 6 months is engaged and smiling at his mother. No signs of a problem. At 1 year, a little shy, but no reason for concern. Now look at that same boy at age 2.
Now you can really see autism in its full form. This child's not speaking. He's not paying attention to any social cues. He's totally fixated on the objects.
Lynn Decker's son was a happy, outgoing toddler when autism stole him away.
All of his words, which he had maybe 30 individual words, faded out. All of his play, behavior, all of that disappeared.
But early treatment can often produce dramatic results. This is Chloe at age 2, just after she was diagnosed with autism. She cannot speak or interact with the children around her. But look at that same girl after 4 months of intensive daily therapy.
She is talking now. She looks to the teacher and shares enjoyment. She looks at others to know what she should be doing.
In short, Chloe is starting to engage in the world around her. For Good Morning America, John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
And joining me now is Karen Siff-Excorn. She's the author of the Autism Source Book, and her son Jake was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2, but after very intensive therapy, he's recovered. He's now 10 and a happy and healthy 4th grader. Good morning and congratulations for that.
Thank you very much, George.
Now, let's first talk about, we know that about 30% of the autism cases are actually regressive autism cases. The kid appears to be developing normally at 6 months or a year, and then all of a sudden the signs start to develop. But I want to show some tape here and have you walk us through it. This is a child at 6 months
who's developing, typically responding to his mom. You see his face, very happy. Now here is at about 1 year, a little bit less responsive, and then here you see at 2 years, socially unrelated, not responding to the mom, really fixating on the toy, which is very typical.
What is that about?
The fixation?
Yeah.
We don't know, but we do know that it is one of these symptoms of autism. We see children who fixate on, rather than playing with the toy the way most kids would, they fixate on the wheels, and they'll just spin the wheels.
And it's the things, not the people around.
You got it, that's right. They're focusing more on objects than they are on people. So most babies will, you look at your child and your child will look at you and you have this wonderful interaction. And kids with autism, we don't see that.
So what are the early signs to watch for, the 3 early signs in very young children to watch for that might be a clue to autism?
So one of the early signs, your child doesn't point. Most kids point to things, to objects. Your child doesn't babble. Your child doesn't make meaningful gestures like waving. Your child doesn't respond.
And this all means they're just withdrawing into themselves.
Well, we don't know that exactly, but we do know that just by looking at these behaviors, like for example, your child doesn't respond to his or her name. Most parents assume their child is deaf. Or your child avoids eye contact or has intermittent eye contact. But a big red flag is the speech and language component. That we'll see kids who either aren't speaking by age 2, or they started out speaking and they don't speak anymore.
Now, to be clear, just because your child has these signs, you shouldn't panic. It doesn't automatically.
No, exactly. If you're a new parent sitting out there watching this today, I don't want you to think that, oh, I called my child's name, he didn't look at me, he must be autistic. What doctors look at are the symptoms appear in clusters, and they look at the frequency and the intensity.
And at what point can you say, okay, we're in the clear, when the child's 1.5, 2, 2.5?
You know, most kids, you see the signs around age 2 or 3 for most kids with autism. If a child has what's called Asperger's, which is considered more of a high-functioning autism, we see those signs around age 5 or 6.
Okay, Karen Siff-Excorn, the author of the Autism Source Book, thank you very much. You can go to our website at abcnews.com for a list of the early warning signs of autism and where to go for help.